cowboy hat with her husband to have brunch. And I'm like, oh my God, Irene, it's been so long and all this stuff. And she sits down and I'm just so excited to see her. And by the end of it, I'm like, maybe she can help me with this. So she comes up to the counter by herself and I'm like, Irene, I know you're, enjoying lunch and everything else, but I do have a question for you. And I asked her this question. Okay, so this is what I want to share with you is bottom line, my answer, and based off what she told me, is that you gotta just do you. You gotta do you. Okay, so even if the people around you haven't recognized your power, and with that might be bringing you down, especially if there's codependency in the way that you guys have like almost with contracts, like the way that you've responded to each other in these relationships, like if it's been a thing for your mom to take care of you, but now you don't need her because you're powerful, and that's going to disrupt that contract, it can bring down your energy. So there's kind of two parts to this. What my coach at the time, Irene, said, because I asked her, I was like, dude, your husband, like, he's probably not as spiritual as you. I know you're going to India soon. Like, what do you do? And she was like, that's a great question. And she said she lets him do what he needs to do. She lets him take his time. She lets him do whatever it is he needs to do. And if she needs to talk about it with him of what she's learning, she does, but without the expectation that he needs to fulfill a need for her. Another mentor of mine, said, don't make your husband, don't make your lover your journal. It is not your lover's responsibility to be there for you like this open book, just listening and holding space for you. That's why people have coaches. That's why people have tools like journals. That's why people pray and connect to God. So as much as like other romantic, intimate people in our world can hold space for us, it's kind of disrespectful if we were to think they have to do that for us, right? Like, would you really want to do that for somebody? Probably not, honestly, right? Like, you probably have some capacity, but you're not just there like an open book, and neither is your partner. And so, by respecting their path, it takes the edge off needing to take care of them to keep up with you, right? And if it ever gets too much, that's when you have an open conversation about it. Or for me, it was super, super, super healing to actually voice, my fears and concerns around this with my boo. Okay, so when and what's so nutso is that, like, he was so much more open to it than I thought. And the more that I keep talking to him, he's so much more spiritual than I thought. I was the cuckoo one, right? Like, he just had a different way of expressing it. I'm more intellectual, fire, pitta, like if you're into Ayurveda, just really like a hawk about my spiritual development. He's more like a swan. He's more of that like earth energy, just like present, like he's just different. And so all of this to say, if especially it's an intimate relationship and you're nervous about that power piece, still go at it and just be your powerful self. And let that other person be in their own journey too. It even reminds me of this time I remember in college. I was invited to go onto a 14 Bonaventure retreat with the Franciscans in my area because I was Catholic at the time. And it was going to be this deep dive into Bonaventure and St. Francis and his teachings and like a silent meditative retreat. And I was so afraid of joining, even though my heart desired it so much. And I remember even crying about it and talking to these other older ladies who were also going to be going. Like, there was nobody under 65 who was going, and I was like 20. And I remember saying, the only thing holding me back is I'm so afraid to go on this retreat because I'll be so like spiritually enlightened. No man will ever connect with me and I'll never date again. That was truly my deepest fear. And what's so ironic is that I did go. It was mind-blowing. It was amazing. I still incorporate what I learned in that to this day. But what's funny is that it just made me more of myself. It just had me opening up in a new way that then would allow me to connect with new people. And like, it didn't hinder me from connecting. And I think that's the fear, to go back to our bigger fear, is like we get afraid to be our true self. And yet that's exactly what we truly desire. So to me, it doesn't matter about the power piece or a Bonaventure retreat. It's actually, oh, okay, you're afraid to be yourself and that people could leave you for that. And so when we're brave enough to really be ourselves, when we're brave enough to go after what we truly feel called to do or to be or to express, we're really taking a stand in respect for who we are, to say, world, this is me, like it or not, here I come. And those who would genuinely be attracted to your light, attracted to your shadow, attracted to who you truly represent as a genuine piece of God incarnate, they will be attracted to you. It's when we put up these barriers, thinking we're going to keep other people safe, that actually can ricochet back, and they just see that facade. They don't even see you, right? But it's all because we're afraid of shining that power. So I hope that answers that question. The last piece on it, if this comes from like a different dynamic than just a personal, intimate relationship, say it's your family, say it's your friend group, and you're really afraid that they're gonna leave or you're growing past them because you're more powerful, again, I would just recommend letting you do you and they do they, right? Like if it's a natural occurrence and life is moving you past that friend group, be brave. Know that there's more friends coming to you that are going to match your vibration at a different place. What else? Oh yeah, and then like also just be the light. Like don't talk about it. Don't try to convince people. That's not your job. Your job, and this is from studying with Gabby Bernstein, I remember at Spirit Junkie Masterclass Live. I'm so burpy, I'm so sorry. She was saying, like, don't go home and talk about all this stuff and try to convert people. Just be the light. Don't talk about the light, be the light. So for this, be your powerful self. You don't need to talk about it. I went home recently and honestly like dealt with some codependency in my family, and there was restructuring of how we related to each other. And I didn't need to feel bad about it. It was more just like, I just need to take a stand, right? If it feels like a conversation is necessary, great, but you do not have to abandon who you really are or who you're becoming in your power to be able to also support other relationships. I think communication is always key, and at the same time, no more abandoning yourself to help another person, right? It's about being in alignment with who you truly are and allowing that to share and spread out. And if you need to find new groups that align with your new powerful self, fair enough, and God is going to take care of you on that. And if not, just let them do them and still relate in the ways that you can still relate to them, whatever that may look like. So I hope this was helpful for you. Definitely in the comments, let me know your thoughts, your feedback, any other questions spurring from that. I'm always available with a private message, DM. Comments are great though. ColleenColes.com too if you ever want to get more deeply in touch. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I just would love to hear how this is helpful. And again, just thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. It was so much fun to make. I know that Inner Bloom now is on their sexual component, which I'm excited to also tune into. And all of it's related, right? Like all of it's necessary. So I'm so honored that I got to be a part of this journey with you. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And Ambi and Amber, thank you guys so much for just having me on. So much love, lots of light. Bye, everybody. Bye for now.